As people are asking me questions about why brother is only allowed 20 stamps a month, or if they're allowed to restrict his mail in that way, I think the best way that I can respond to showcase what this experience is like inside prison is to talk a little bit about my relationship with the guards when I was in prison, and specifically jobs. Because when a citizen goes and gets a job, there's a job description. And as the employee, you basically sign up to do a kind of specific list of like, okay, this is what my job is. And the employer and employee has this relationship and this understanding of like, okay, I'm hiring you to do this list of things. And in exchange, I'll give you this amount of money. I mean, in general, that's kind of how it works. In prison, it doesn't work like that. When I got a job in the prison kitchen, my job was culinary, which meant my job was to go to culinary at the same time every day, and the CO there would tell me what to do. Now, as a cook, my job was to follow the menu and, adhere to the recipe that they'd already come up with and to get along with the other cooks and work. Like in that capacity, I sort of had a job description. And also, when someone else clogged the toilet and I was the closest inmate nearby, it was my job to fix the toilet. And also, when another inmate didn't show up for their job or got hurt or couldn't do their job for whatever reason, it was also my job to do their job. And then at different facilities, there were no paying jobs. So it was just my job to do things, whether that was to cook for the corrections officers or do their bills for them or clean out their bags or clean their computers or help them sort through mail. It's really whatever the corrections officer wants the inmate to do. So there were a handful of times where I was woken up in the middle of the night and my last name was being shouted over a loudspeaker, and I got called to the holding facility, the short-term holding facility, for right when someone comes in. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have more serious mental health conditions are not really diagnosed and kind of circumvented into the mental health route until after they've been booked and held for too long. So one of these circumstances, I was woken up in the middle of the night and told to go to that space where they had those holding cells. And I was told to clean one of them. A person had defecated in their hands repeatedly and smeared it everywhere. The officer handed me 2 rags and a bottle of bleach and told me to clean it. When I asked for a bucket or gloves, he laughed. And then he sat there outside of the cell, looking at the glass wall, or through the glass, looking at me, and he ate his lunch. And anytime I stopped and looked at him, he would tell me to get back to cleaning in more colorful language. So with just my hands and a few rags and a bottle of bleach, and with the toilet bowl as my water and mixing source, I cleaned the entire cell with someone else's feces. Saying no wasn't really an option. And so for corrections officers, inmates are like the pencil pushing thing you have to do at your job every day. If you work at a customer service place, it is the 1000th call you've gotten about that same dumb question that you've had to answer again and again and again. If you work in a fast food restaurant, it's yet another customer being pissed that the special that ended last week is no longer on the menu, and no, you don't have any in back to hide to give them. Every job that you're aware of has that frustrating part of a job. Inmates are that for corrections officers. So when we're talking about COs, like literally probably just don't want to deal with the volume of mail, it's really just that simple. They're paid barely above minimum wage. They do have to pass a physical, but they're not trauma informed. They receive no training in that. They receive no training in how to treat a human. They're told to manage a population, just like you might manage 1,000 mice in a box. So yeah, it really is that simple. And yeah, they are allowed to do this and then some. Oh, and no, there's no like phone number or place to reach out to or office to go to as an inmate when I was told to clean up an entire cell that was literally covered in someone else's feces and I had no gloves. There was no one to call. There was no like, excuse me, this is a violation of OSHA and about 5 health codes. Like, I at least want gloves. There's no one, there's no one to go to. And if I complain to the higher ups, then I'm just taking up the higher ups' time. So there's no checks and balances or transparency in this. And so if a CO wants to sit on his butt and watch whatever they want to watch all day long and tell the inmates to go do all of the chores or whatnot that they're supposed to be doing or that they can delegate, whatever, that's within their job description. Their job is not to rehabilitate. That is nowhere in a job description. I highly encourage you to Google the facility closest to you, your county or state jail or prison, and add corrections officer job posting or job description and see what's available in your area right now. Look and see what are the requirements.